Options and right of first refusal. Question 1. During review of a cooperative unit in Westminster, the parties discuss a definite proposal communicated with intent to be bound upon acceptance. Which term applies? Option A, time is of the essence. Option B, exclusive right to sell listing. Option C, void contract. Option D, offer. The correct answer is option D, offer. An advertisement is usually an invitation to negotiate unless it is unusually specific and leaves nothing open. The terms must be sufficiently clear for the recipient to understand the proposed bargain. The proposal can terminate through revocation, rejection, counter-proposal, lapse, or operation of law. Question 2. An exam scenario presents a contract condition allowing performance obligations to depend on a specified event. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, contingency. Option B, liquidated damages. Option C, novation. Option D, open listing. The correct answer is option A, contingency. Financing, appraisal, inspection, and sale minus property conditions allocate transaction risk. Failure of the condition can permit termination if the clause is properly invoked. The party benefiting from the provision must comply with notice and deadline requirements. Question 3. A licensee preparing for a marketing review must recognize a response changing the original offer and proposing different terms. Which concept does this describe? Option A, statute of frauds. Option B, counteroffer. Option C, option contract. Option D, exclusive agency listing. The correct answer is option B, counteroffer. A later attempt to accept the first offer may fail because it was terminated. The response rejects the original proposal unless the offeror renews it. The roles of offeror and offeree reverse for the new proposal. Stressed about your Maryland real estate? We can take Maryland real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving unqualified agreement to the terms of an offer communicated in the authorized manner? Option A, unilateral contract. Option B, voidable contract. Option C, acceptance. Option D, executed contract. The correct answer is option C, acceptance. Timing and communication rules determine when the agreement becomes binding. Silence generally does not constitute consent unless an established legal exception applies. Changing a material term normally creates a counteroffer rather than unqualified assent. Question 5. At a lease negotiation in Easton, Owen explains a contract transferring possession and use for a term while the owner retains title. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, buyer representation agreement. Option B, unilateral contract. Option C, unenforceable contract. Option D, lease. The correct answer is option D, lease. The document does not convey fee ownership to the occupant. Rent, duration, maintenance, and permitted use are central terms. The tenant receives of the rental agreement hold interest and owes duties stated in the agreement and law. Question 6. A transaction file for a single-family home raises an issue involving an arrangement in which the owner sets a desired net amount and the broker keeps the excess as compensation. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, net listing. Option B, executory contract. Option C, void contract. Option D, option contract. The correct answer is option A, net listing. The structure creates a serious conflict because the broker benefits from a larger spread rather than a transparent fee. Many jurisdictions prohibit or restrict this arrangement. A licensee must follow state law and fiduciary duties rather than assume it is permitted. Question 7. Which concept should a listing broker apply to facts involving a listing allowing the owner to avoid brokerage compensation by personally finding the buyer? Option A, offer. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, valid contract. Option D, right of first refusal. The correct answer is option B, exclusive agency listing. The owner retains a limited right to sell without owing the agreed fee. The broker earns compensation when the broker or another broker produces the buyer. The exact result depends on the written agreement and procuring minus cost terms. Question 8. Hector is studying a rule concerning a court remedy ordering a party to carry out contractual duties. Which term should be chosen? Option A, valid contract. Option B, executed contract. Option C, specific performance. Option D, net listing. The correct answer is option C, specific performance. The remedy is available when money damages are inadequate and the agreement is sufficiently definite. Equitable defenses and the claimant's own performance affect availability. Real estate is considered unique, which can support this relief in a purchase dispute. Are you looking for Maryland real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Maryland Real Estate Study Guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Maryland Real Estate Answer Key today. Question 9. When a retail suite transaction involves cancellation that seeks to return the parties to their pre-contract positions, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A. Acceptance. Option B. Unenforceable contract. Option C. Lease. Option D. Rescission. The correct answer is option D. Rescission. It differs from damages that leave the agreement's consequences in place. The remedy may arise by mutual agreement, statutory right, or legal grounds such as fraud. Money and property received are typically restored as far as practical. Question 10. A practice question describes a contractually stated amount recoverable after breach when it reasonably estimates anticipated loss. Which response is best? Option A. Liquidated damages. Option B. Statute of frauds. Option C. Offer. Option D. Net listing. The correct answer is option A. Liquidated damages. Courts may refuse enforcement when the amount operates as an excessive penalty. Earnest money clauses must be read carefully to determine the party's agreed remedy. The provision should compensate rather than punish the breaching party. Question 11. During a buyer consultation, which principle is illustrated by a listing in which the broker earns the agreed compensation if the property sells during the term regardless of who finds the buyer? Option A. Buyer representation agreement. Option B. Exclusive right to sell listing. Option C. Purchase agreement. Option D. Time is of the essence. The correct answer is option B. Exclusive right to sell listing. The broker must still perform the promised marketing and representation duties. This arrangement provides the strongest compensation protection to the listing broker. The owner's own sale normally triggers compensation unless the agreement creates a specific exception. Question 12. Which answer states the concept associated with an agreement containing competent parties, lawful objective, offer and acceptance, consideration, and required formalities? Option A. Net listing. Option B. Liquidated damages. Option C. Valid contract. Option D. Property management agreement. The correct answer is option C. Valid contract. A binding agreement requires mutual assent to definite terms and legally sufficient consideration. The parties must have capacity and the purpose cannot violate law or public policy. Some real estate agreements must also satisfy writing and signature requirements. Question 13. A closing agent handling a small apartment building in Columbia must identify an agreement with one or more material obligations still to be performed. Which choice is correct? Option A. Statute of frauds. Option B. Rescission. Option C. Bilateral contract. Option D. Executory contract. The correct answer is option D. Executory contract. The contract may be fully signed even though performance is incomplete. A pending sales contract remains in this status until closing duties are completed or the agreement ends. Contingencies and deadlines continue to govern the parties. Question 14. During a financing review for a rental home in Towson, Quinton needs to identify the rule described as a contract authorizing a manager to operate rental property on behalf of an owner. Which answer applies? Option A. Property management agreement. Option B. Offer. Option C. Right of first refusal. Option D. Option contract. The correct answer is option A. Property management agreement. The agreement should define authority, compensation, accounting, maintenance limits, and reporting. Trust funds must be handled separately and records maintained as required. The manager owes duties created by agency law and licensing rules. Question 15. A investor is reviewing a condominium unit in Gaithersburg. Which term describes something of legal value exchanged to support a contract? Option A. Open listing. Option B. Consideration. Option C. Bilateral contract. Option D. Purchase agreement. The correct answer is option B. Consideration. Earnest money may evidence seriousness but is not always required for contract validity. The exchange can consist of money, a promise, an act, or forbearance. Courts generally examine legal sufficiency rather than whether the bargain was economically equal. Question 16. At a offer review, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: a contractual right to match or accept terms when an owner decides to sell. Which concept is being tested? Option A, rescission. Option B, executed contract. Option C, right of first refusal. Option D, purchase agreement. The correct answer is option C, right of first refusal. Once a qualifying third-party offer exists, the holder receives the opportunity defined by the agreement. The wording controls notice, timing, and covered transactions. The right does not usually force the owner to offer the property before deciding to market it. Question 17. Jonah is assisting with a duplex transaction in Rockville. Which principle applies when the facts involve an agreement formed by an exchange of promises? Option A, buyer representation agreement. Option B, executory contract. Option C, option contract. Option D, bilateral contract. The correct answer is option D, bilateral contract. Performance occurs later even though the agreement is formed at acceptance. Most purchase agreements create reciprocal duties to convey title and pay the price. Each party becomes obligated when the promises are accepted. Question 18. Which answer most accurately identifies the contract stating the buyer's and seller's obligations for transfer of identified real property in a real estate transaction? Option A, purchase agreement. Option B, executory contract. Option C, net listing. Option D, open listing. The correct answer is option A, purchase agreement. Essential terms include the parties, property, price, and material conditions. Contingencies, closing duties, risk allocation, and default remedies should be clearly expressed. The agreement remains subject to applicable disclosure and writing requirements.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A question arising during title examination concerns an agreement that remains enforceable unless a party with a legal right elects to rescind. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, assignment. Option B, voidable contract. Option C, liquidated damages. Option D, statute of frauds. The correct answer is option B, voidable contract. Fraud, duress, or lack of capacity can create this status. The protected party may affirm or reject the transaction depending on the circumstances. The other party cannot automatically treat the agreement as non-existent. Question 20. While analyzing a vacant parcel, Caleb must apply the concept involving a non-exclusive arrangement allowing multiple brokers to seek a buyer, with compensation generally owed to the successful procuring broker. Which answer should be selected? Option A, consideration. Option B, void contract. Option C, open listing. Option D, contingency. The correct answer is option C, open listing. The owner may also retain the right to sell independently without paying a broker. Clear documentation is important because competing efforts can create compensation disputes. No single broker receives exclusive marketing authority. Question 21. Which real estate term is defined by a written contract defining the broker's duties, scope of representation, term, and compensation for a buyer-client? Option A, property management agreement. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, rescission. Option D, buyer representation agreement. The correct answer is option D, buyer representation agreement. The buyer and licensee must understand potential compensation from other transaction participants. The agreement establishes agency and explains how the broker will be paid. It should address exclusivity, termination, and the property or market covered. Question 22. In a transaction involving an office building, which rule controls when there is a legal rule requiring specified agreements, including many real estate contracts, to be in writing and signed? Option A, statute of frauds. Option B, consideration. Option C, exclusive right to sell listing. Option D, valid contract. The correct answer is option A, statute of frauds. The rule concerns enforceability rather than whether the parties discussed an oral bargain. Exceptions can apply in limited circumstances such as qualifying part performance. The writing must identify the parties, property, and essential terms with sufficient certainty. Question 23. A seller asks about an agreement giving a holder the right, but not the obligation, to buy or lease under stated terms within a fixed period. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, assignment. Option B, option contract. Option C, purchase agreement. Option D, exclusive right -to sell listing. The correct answer is option B, option contract. Exercise must strictly comply with the method and deadline stated in the agreement. Separate consideration commonly supports the promise not to revoke. The owner must keep the opportunity open during the option term. Question 24. Imani encounters a contract provision making stated deadlines material duties during a settlement preparation. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, exclusive right -to sell listing. Option B, option contract. Option C, time is of the essence. Option D, offer. The correct answer is option C, time is of the essence. Failure to perform on time can constitute breach without the flexibility otherwise allowed by reasonable delay principles. The clause should be applied to the deadlines covered by its wording. Parties can waive strict enforcement through conduct or written modification. Question 25. Which choice best matches the description transfer of contractual rights from one party to another? Option A, time is of the essence. Option B, option contract. Option C, right of first refusal. Option D, assignment. The correct answer is option D, assignment. The contract or law may restrict the transfer of contractual rights when personal performance is important. The original party transfers a benefit but may remain responsible for obligations unless released. Notice helps protect the transferee and the party who must perform.